Hey guys, welcome back to the Millennial Classroom. Today we're going to be looking at episode 9 and the topic for today is the vision board. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Okay, so the episode is not about just what the vision board is, but it's more about how to make an effective vision board. Now, we've heard about the concept from the famous book called The Secret, the Law of Attraction. Now, obviously, there are other people who have spoken about having the vision board for yourself, but most of us were introduced to the concept of having a vision board in our room or wherever it is by the book, The Secret. Now, before we understand how to make an effective vision board, let's understand what the vision board represents. The vision board represents your final goals, like your goals that you have, that you want to accomplish in the short term, the goals that you want to accomplish in the long term. It basically acts like a guide for your everyday actions, and it also keeps motivating you to show you as to where you want to go. Now, the concept is good. The concept is great. If you've read about the law of attraction, if you've read about this before, the concept is brilliant, and it's really motivating to kind of think about the fact that, I'm going to put up something on my vision board and, life's going to kind of gift it to me. That concept is nice. But the problem is, how do we make an effective vision board? And that's exactly what we're going to be discussing today. I have 5 things that I'm going to be telling you about how to make an effective vision board that's worked for me, and hopefully it works for you too. Let's start off with the first thing. The first thing is short term versus long term. Okay, so do we have to make the vision board for the short term? Is the vision board for 6 months? Is it for 1 year? Is it for 5 years? Now, I would say basically make 2 vision boards. One for your short term goals, one for your long term. Now, the short term can be anything. You decide the timeline. If it's something that you want to achieve in 6 months, if it's something that you want to achieve in 1 year, or if it's something that you want to achieve in 60 days, you decide the timeline. But ideally, you can have 2 vision boards. The problem with this is most of the people mix up their short-term and long-term goals, and the whole vision board gets cluttered. And if the vision board is not simple, and if it's cluttered, that becomes a problem as we go on from day-to-day basis. What you can do is maybe divide the vision board into 2 parts, and you can keep your short-term goals on one side and your long-term goals on the other. But keep in mind, you need to filter them. We have goals, we have a lot of goals in our head, but as much as possible, let's prioritize it to maybe 3 or 4 goals, max 5 goals, so that we know what to concentrate on a day-to-day basis. Coming to the second point, the graphics that go into it. What do I mean by the graphics? Now, when you're making your vision board, it can't be only words. Make sure you use the right pictures. Now, for example, the easiest one, if you want to travel to a certain destination, make sure the name of the place along with the picture is up on the vision board, so that the visual becomes better. The idea is to make it more visual. Let's say you have a certain body type that you want to achieve. Make sure a certain fitness trainer or a certain fitness personality, their picture is up on your vision board, so that you know that that's how you want to go. So make the graphics as helpful as possible so that it's easier to visualize on a day-to-day basis. Now, the third point, get specific with your goal and timeline. Okay, so the goal cannot be general, the goal has to be as specific as possible. Now, what I would suggest is, if you're going to take a picture, make sure you print under that as to the timeline that you want to achieve it in. When I say timeline, I mean the exact date. Now let's say by 31st December of 2020 you want to achieve certain things. You put that particular date no matter what, so that you clearly know by when you want to get there. So as much as the goal needs to be specific, if we don't put a timeline under each goal on the vision board, you're gonna start neglecting a few goals. What will happen is you might focus on one and forget about the other. When you have timelines going on simultaneously ticking for all the goals, you know how much time you have given yourself and you know what's the efforts it's gonna require to get there. Coming to the fourth point, I hope you can see it in the camera. Yeah, I think you can. So the fourth point is not to worry about others. Now, where do you put this vision board? You put this vision board in your room or on a book or on your phone, whatever is helpful for you. Now, I would suggest personally you can put it up in your room and make it big. Make it as big as possible and put it up on your wall. You will get uncomfortable sometimes if a family walks in and looks at it and asks you, questions you about your goals, what have you put up. Some friends might walk into your room and judge you, but do not let that worry you, okay? I have faced this, that's why. When I've put it up in my room, I kind of get uncomfortable when someone questions my goals and asks me, okay, how are you planning to get there? What is it? Because some goals are closer to our hearts. We want to keep it to ourselves. But I know that it's uncomfortable, but if you're not going to have it put up in your room and if it's not big enough, it's not in your face, you know. On the days when you're trying to cheat yourself, on the days when you're not your best, that's the only way it's gonna remind you that, boss, you've decided on these goals and you better get back on track. If it's somewhere hidden, if it's somewhere in your phone, it's good because you're gonna look at it, but it's not in your face all the time. So I would say put it up in your room and not to worry about who looks at it and what they say about it. And the final one, I'll try to write it here, I don't have space there. What to do? What to do when the goal doesn't get accomplished. Now, when you have given yourself a timeline, when you have given yourself the timeline, when you have put in the efforts also, but the timeline passes and the goal is not yet accomplished, it will feel demotivating. It will feel like you didn't put in the efforts, but that's the beauty of the vision board. As soon as you know that a certain goal on your vision board did not get accomplished, you will start to investigate as to what you did not do. Now, the good thing is, because you have put it up there, your heart is not going to, allow you to take it off from there. So what will happen now is you'll give it a new timeline. And this time, obviously, you're going to work for the better. I would suggest not to take it off, not to get demotivated, not to feel like, we are not capable of it. Because if you haven't yet gotten there, the only reason is, honestly, I don't think we would have put in enough efforts to get there. So the concept of the vision board is beautiful. Try it out. I feel like we should all have a vision board no matter what. It keeps our day-to-day actions on spot. Over the years, when we actually look back, we'll be pretty surprised how many goals we ticked off. So make sure your goals are big, not too small, because I'm sure we can get there. Make sure you make it specific and have a look at it every other day, because it will remind you of what your purpose is and why you're doing what you are doing on a daily basis. Now, this is something that I recorded based on my experience. If you have a vision board, tell me about how you're feeling about it. If you haven't yet had one, I would definitely recommend that you make one for yourself. It will help you out. I've faced this in my own life. Let it be financial wise, let it be job wise, let it be personally, whatever the traits that I want to improve on in my life, I've always used a vision board to get there. So I definitely highly recommend it to you as well. Thank you for watching the episode. If you liked it, please hit the like button and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. See you guys.